The massive screen in the Earth Defense Command Center flickered to life. Admiral Jake Morrison stood with his arms crossed, watching as an alien figure appeared before him. The creature had blue skin and 4 eyes that glowed like stars. Its voice was cold and filled with hate. "Humans of Earth," the alien spoke slowly. "I am Grand Admiral Zexathera of the Zephyrian Empire. We speak for the Galactic Council. You have 30 days to leave all planets beyond your home system. If you do not obey, we will destroy every human colony in space." The alien's image showed a massive fleet of strange ships floating in the darkness. "Do not think you can fight us. We have ruled this galaxy for 500 years. You are nothing but children who just learned to fly between stars. We know you have perhaps 50,000 ships. We have millions." The transmission ended. The room fell silent. Captain Lisa Parker stepped forward and looked at Admiral Morrison. Her face was calm, but her eyes showed anger. "Sir, they think we only have 50,000 ships," she said quietly. Morrison nodded slowly. "They have been watching our trade routes for years. They see our merchant ships and patrol vessels. They think that is all we have." "Should we tell them the truth?" Parker asked. "Not yet," Morrison replied. "Let them keep believing their lie." Across the room, General Mike Turner was already making calls. Within minutes, President Sam Johnson appeared on the secure video link from Washington. His face was serious. "I saw the transmission," President Johnson said. "What are our options?" Fleet Admiral Kate Williams joined the call from her command ship in orbit. "Mr. President, they made a big mistake. They think we are weak." "How many ships do we really have?" the President asked. Williams smiled. 700,000 combat vessels, sir, all hidden in the dark spaces between stars. The aliens have never seen our real military." President Johnson was quiet for a moment. 700,000? I knew we had been building ships, but that many? "We have been preparing for this day for 150 years, Admiral Morrison explained. "Ever since we first met hostile aliens, we knew this moment would come. We have shipyards in places so remote that even our own people forget they exist." Captain Parker pulled up a star map. Red dots showed human colonies. Blue dots showed the hidden shipyards. There were hundreds of blue dots scattered throughout, empty space. "The Oort Cloud facilities alone have built 200,000 ships," she reported. "The deep space yards near Alpha Centauri have another 150,000 ready. Every major star system has hidden fleets." "What kind of ships?" President Johnson asked. General Turner answered. "Everything from small fighters to massive dreadnoughts. Each one designed for one purpose: to protect humanity from exactly this kind of threat." "The aliens think we are primitive," Williams added. "They believe we just got lucky and found faster-than-light travel. They have no idea that our technology is actually more advanced than theirs in many ways." Morrison walked to the window and looked out at Earth. Cities covered the planet below. Billions of people lived normal lives, not knowing that war might be coming. "The Galactic Council has 3 main powers," he said. "The Zephyrians with their energy weapons, the Vortani with their crystal ships, and the Keleth with their hive mind fleets. Together they think they rule the galaxy. What they don't know," Parker continued, "is that we have been studying them for decades. We know how their weapons work. We know their battle tactics. We know their weaknesses." President Johnson made his decision. "We will not surrender our colonies. Those worlds have millions of human families. We will not abandon them." "Then we go to war?" Williams asked. "If they force us to fight, we will show them what humans can really do," the President replied. In a secret facility buried deep under the Rocky Mountains, Commander Steve Hughes received the coded message. Operation Thunder's End was about to begin. For years, his job had been to hide humanity's true strength from alien eyes. Now it was time to reveal it. Hughes sent out signals to 200 hidden bases. Each base controlled fleets of warships that had never been seen by alien scouts. The ships had been built in complete silence, their crews trained in secret, their existence known only to a few thousand humans. On the moon, Captain Amy Foster walked through the corridors of a base that did not exist on any official map. Around her, 60,000 warships waited in underground hangars. Her crews had trained for this moment their entire careers. "Ma'am," her second-in-command said. "We just received the activation codes." Foster nodded. "Wake up the fleet. It's time to show the galaxy what humanity really looks like when we're angry." Far from Earth, in the empty space between stars, Admiral Ben Carter stood on the bridge of his flagship. Through the windows, he could see an endless line of human warships stretching into the darkness. Each ship was painted black to hide from alien sensors. Each one carried weapons that the Galactic Council had never seen before. 30 days, Carter said to his officers. "The aliens think they are giving us time to surrender. What they're really doing is giving us time to get into position." Back on Earth, Morrison looked at the countdown clock on the wall. 29 days, 23 hours, and 57 minutes until the ultimatum expired. "Let them come," he said quietly. "Let them see what happens when you threaten humanity." The galaxy was about to learn that humans had been preparing for war since the day they first looked up at the stars and wondered what was out there. Soon, very soon, 700,000 warships would answer that question. Deep in the cold darkness beyond Pluto, something enormous began to wake up. The Oort Cloud shipyard complex had been sleeping for 20 years, hidden among the ice and rocks at the edge of the solar system. Now red lights started blinking as power flowed through systems that had waited silently for this moment. Fleet Admiral Kate Williams stood in the command center of the hidden base. Through the thick windows, she could see shapes moving in the darkness. Thousands of black warships were emerging from concealed hangars carved into asteroids. Each ship had been built in complete secrecy, their existence known only to the highest levels of Earth's government. "Send the signal," Williams ordered. "Tell all bases that Operation Thunder's End is now active." Her communications officer typed a short coded message. Within seconds, the signal traveled to 200 hidden locations across human space. Each base had been waiting for this moment. Each one held fleets that the aliens had never seen. On Titan, Saturn's largest moon, Commander Tony Richards watched as massive doors opened in the ice. His ships had been buried under the frozen surface for 15 years. Now they rose like metal giants awakening from sleep. The UES Devastator-class dreadnoughts were the size of small cities. Each one carried enough firepower to destroy an entire alien fleet. "All ships report ready for combat," his aide reported. Richards smiled. "The Zephyrians think they know what human ships look like. They have only seen our patrol boats and cargo vessels. Wait until they meet a real warship." In the asteroid belt, Captain Amy Foster's hidden base came alive. 60,000 ships of Battlefleet Vengeance had been waiting in hollowed-out asteroids for this day. Her crews had trained in virtual reality simulators, practicing battles against alien ship designs stolen by human spies. "Ma'am, all squadron leaders are requesting orders," her first officer said. Foster looked at the tactical display. Her fleet would be responsible for attacking the Vortani crystal worlds. The aliens thought their energy shields made them invincible. They were about to learn that human kinetic weapons could punch through any defense. "Tell them to prepare for long-range deployment," she ordered. "We launch in 6 hours." Halfway across the galaxy, Admiral Ben Carter was preparing Battlefleet Omega. His ships were hidden in a nebula that blocked all sensors. For decades, human engineers had built warships in the swirling gas clouds, using the natural interference to hide their work. Carter's target was the Keleth hive worlds. The insect-like aliens used their hive mind to coordinate massive fleets. They thought their mental connection made them unbeatable in battle. Carter's ships carried electronic warfare, systems designed specifically to jam their neural links. "Sir, final preparations are complete," his tactical officer reported. "All 70,000 ships are ready for hyperspace jump." "Good," Carter replied. "The bugs are about to find out what happens when you threaten human children." Back on Earth, Commander Steve Hughes sat in his underground intelligence center. For 30 years, his job had been to make sure the aliens never learned humanity's secrets. He had sent false information through captured alien spies. He had created fake shipping records to hide the real size of human industry. He had even staged fake battles to make human ships look weaker than they really were. Now all that work was about to pay off. The aliens still believed humans were a minor species with limited technology. They had no idea that human shipyards could build vessels faster than any other race in the galaxy. "Sir, we're getting reports from our spy networks," his assistant said. "The Zephyrians are mobilizing their home fleet. They think they're dealing with a small rebellion." Hughes laughed. "Perfect. Let them bring everything they have. Our boys have been waiting for a real fight." In the hidden shipyards of Wolf 359, thousands of workers were putting final touches on the newest human warships. These vessels had been designed based on captured alien technology, but improved with human engineering. They were faster, stronger, and more deadly than anything the Galactic Council had ever built. Captain Dave Miller walked through the construction bays, watching as his new command took shape. The UES Retribution was a new class of battleship, designed to fight multiple alien species at once. Its armor could resist Zephyrian energy beams. Its weapons could penetrate Vortani crystal hulls. Its computers could break Keleth mental coordination. "She's beautiful, isn't she?" the chief engineer said. Miller nodded. "The aliens wanted a war. We're going to give them one they'll never forget." At Proxima Centauri, the closest star to Earth, another secret revealed itself. What the aliens thought was a simple mining colony was actually the largest military base in human space. Commander Sarah Johnson watched as blast doors opened across the planet's surface. Enormous launchers began raising ships into orbit. "All defensive platforms are online," her weapons officer reported. "If the aliens try to attack Earth, they'll have to get through us first." "They won't even see us coming," Johnson replied. "By the time they realize what's happening, it will be too late." The countdown continued. 28 days until the ultimatum expired. But the aliens had made a critical mistake. They thought they were giving humanity time to surrender. Instead, they had given humans time to position 700,000 warships throughout the galaxy. Admiral Morrison stood in the Earth Defense Center, watching status reports from hidden fleets across human space. Each green light on his display represented thousands of ships moving into attack position. Each fleet commander had spent years studying alien tactics and weaknesses. "The Galactic Council thinks they rule this galaxy," Morrison said to Captain Parker. "They're about to learn that humans don't kneel to anyone." Parker smiled as she watched the tactical display update. "Sir, all fleets report ready. We can strike their major worlds simultaneously whenever you give the order." "Not yet," Morrison replied. "Let them come to us first. When they see what we're really capable of, the shock will be even greater." The galaxy was about to witness the awakening of humanity's true power. 700,000 warships built in secret, crewed by the best soldiers humanity could train, armed with weapons designed specifically to defeat alien technology. The Galactic Council had made the biggest mistake in their 500-year history. They had threatened the children of Earth. 30 days had passed. The ultimatum time was over. Grand Admiral Zex Thera stood on the bridge of his flagship, feeling confident and proud. Around him floated 12,000 Zephyrian warships, the largest fleet his empire had ever assembled. Their blue hulls gleamed in the light of distant stars. "Today we end the human problem forever," Zex Thera announced to his officers. "These primitive creatures will learn what happens when they refuse the Galactic Council." His fleet dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system. Zex Thera expected to find a few frightened human ships trying to defend their home world. Instead, his four eyes went wide with shock. Waiting for them in perfect battle formation were 100,000 human warships. The human fleet stretched across space like a metal wall. Each ship was painted in dark colors with bright red stripes. They hung motionless in the void, their weapons pointed directly at the alien fleet. At the center of the formation sat the largest warship Zex Thera had ever seen. "Impossible," he whispered. "Our intelligence said they only had 50,000 ships in their entire military." Admiral Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the UES, Constitution, humanity's newest flagship. The massive vessel was 3 times larger than any Zephyrian dreadnought. Its armor was designed to resist every known alien weapon. Its guns could destroy an entire enemy squadron with a single shot. "Open a channel to the alien fleet," Morrison ordered. Captain Lisa Parker smiled as she activated the communications system. She had been looking forward to this moment for years. "Grand Admiral Zexathera," she said calmly, "welcome to Earth's solar system. You wanted to see humanity's true strength. Congratulations. You found it." On the alien flagship, Zexathera's bridge crew was in chaos. Their sensors were detecting weapon signatures they had never seen before. Energy readings that made no sense. Ship designs that seemed impossible. "Sir, each of those human vessels is more powerful than our best battleships," his tactical officer reported with fear in his voice. "How is this possible?" Zexathera demanded. "Where did these ships come from?" Morrison's voice came through the communication system, calm and steady. "For 150 years, you have watched our merchant ships and patrol boats. You thought that was all we had. You were wrong. At MI, that exact moment across 47 star systems throughout the galaxy, something incredible happened. Hidden human fleets revealed themselves simultaneously. Above the Vortani crystal homeworld, Captain Amy Foster's 60,000 ships materialized out of nowhere. The crystal beings had thought their world was safe, protected by natural energy, barriers that blocked most sensors. They never expected humans to find them. "Foster to all ships," Amy announced. "You know your targets. Show them what human engineering can do." The Vortani Emergency Council met in their crystal palace, panic filling their translucent faces. "How did the humans find us?" their leader asked. "Our world is hidden in an energy storm." "They have been watching us for decades," another council member replied. "While we thought they were primitive, they were learning our secrets." At the Keleth Hive worlds, Admiral Ben Carter's Battlefleet Omega surrounded 3 planets filled with billions of insect-like aliens. The Keleth had always relied on their hive mind to coordinate perfect battle formations. Now they faced an enemy that had studied their tactics for 30 years. "All ships activate electronic warfare systems," Carter ordered. "Let's see how well their hive mind works when we jam their mental connections." Across Keleth space, the aliens' mental network began to break down. Ships that had moved as one mind suddenly found themselves alone and confused. Decades of tactical superiority vanished in minutes. On the Galactic Council's capital world, emergency meetings erupted throughout the government. Alien leaders who had ruled the galaxy for 5 centuries suddenly found themselves staring at reports they could not believe. 700,000 human warships, the Vortani representative said, his crystal body flickering with fear. "They have been hiding 700,000 warships." "Impossible," the Keleth ambassador buzzed. "Our intelligence networks would have detected such a massive military buildup." "Your intelligence network saw exactly what the humans wanted you to see," replied the Council's military advisor. "They have been playing a game for over a century, and we lost without even knowing we were playing." Back at Earth, Grand Admiral Zexathera tried to maintain his composure. His 12,000 ships still outnumbered the human fleet defending Earth. But the reports coming in from across the galaxy were terrifying. "Sir, we are receiving surrender requests from 17 of our frontier bases," his communications officer reported. "Human fleets have appeared at every major military installation in our territory." "What about the Vortani crystal fleets?" Zexathera asked. "Destroyed or surrendered, sir. The humans used kinetic weapons that penetrated their energy shields like they were made of glass." "The Keleth coordination fleets?" "Scattered and helpless, sir. The humans are using some kind of electronic warfare that breaks their hive mind connections." Morrison's voice came through the communication system again. "Grand Admiral, you have 2 choices. Surrender now and your crews will be treated with respect. Or continue this fight and learn why humans have spent 150 years preparing for this day." Zexathera looked at his tactical display. His 12,000 ships faced 100,000 human vessels. Across the galaxy, every major alien military force was being systematically defeated by human fleets that appeared from nowhere. "How?" he asked. "How did you hide so many ships for so long?" "Space is big, Admiral," Morrison replied. "Really big. There are places between the stars where no one ever looks. Dark nebulae, empty systems, the spaces between galaxies. We built our fleets where you would never think to search. President Sam Johnson's voice joined the communication from Earth. For 2 centuries you have watched us expand into space. You thought you knew us. You were wrong. We are not the primitive species you believed us to be. We are humanity, and we have been preparing for this day since we first looked up at the stars and wondered what was out there. The galaxy's communication networks exploded with panicked alien transmissions. Every major species was calling for emergency sessions. Trade routes shut down as alien merchant ships fled to safety. Military commanders across dozens of worlds tried to understand how they had so completely underestimated humanity. "We offer one more chance for peace," Morrison announced to the alien fleet. "Surrender now and help us build a better galaxy, or continue fighting and learn why human mothers teach their children that the only way to ensure peace is to be stronger than those who would threaten it." Grand Admiral Zexithara looked at his officers. Fear filled their eyes. For 500 years they had been the hunters. Now, suddenly, they had become the prey. The galaxy would never be the same. The Galactic Council emergency meeting was complete chaos. Alien leaders from dozens of species screamed at each other in languages that had not been used for war in 500 years. The great chamber that had seen centuries of peaceful debate now echoed with panic and fear. "Order! Order!" shouted the council speaker, a tall creature with silver skin and no eyes. "We must find a solution to this crisis." Solution? The Vortani representative's crystal body flashed angry red colors. "Half of our crystal fleets have been destroyed in the past 6 hours. The humans cut through our shields like they were made of air." The Keleth ambassador's insect-like head twitched with rage. "Our hive coordination is useless against them. They jam our mental connections and turn our greatest strength into weakness." Grand Admiral Zexithara appeared on the emergency communication screen, his 4 eyes showing defeat. Behind him, his bridge was damaged and sparking. "Council members, I must report that my fleet has been forced to retreat from Earth. We lost 4,000 ships in the first hour of battle." 4,000 ships? The speaker's voice cracked with disbelief. "How is that possible? Their weapons are unlike anything we have ever seen," Zexithara explained. "Our energy shields cannot stop their projectile weapons. Our armor melts under their plasma cannons. Every ship they build is designed to kill us." On the human flagship, UES Constitution, Admiral Jake Morrison watched the battle reports coming in from across the galaxy. Every engagement was going exactly as planned. Human forces were not trying to destroy alien fleets completely. Instead, they were showing overwhelming superiority and forcing surrenders. "Sir, Battlefleet Vengeance reports the Vortani Third Fleet has surrendered," Captain Lisa Parker announced. "Captain Foster disabled their command ships without killing anyone." Morrison nodded with approval. "Good. We want them to understand our strength, not hate us forever." The human strategy was working perfectly. Every major alien military installation found itself surrounded by human ships that had appeared from nowhere. But instead of destroying everything, the humans offered terms. Surrender now and be treated with respect, or continue fighting and face complete defeat. At the Vortani homeworld, Captain Amy Foster stood on her bridge watching the beautiful crystal cities below. The aliens had built their civilization inside massive energy barriers that had protected them for thousands of years. Now human ships floated above their world, their weapons pointed at the barriers that no longer seemed so strong. "Ma'am, the Vortani High Council is requesting to speak with you," her communications officer reported. Foster straightened her uniform. "Put them through." The crystal being that appeared on her screen was ancient and wise. Its body glowed with soft blue light. "Human Captain, I am Elder Kixtal of the Vortani Council. We wish to understand how you found our hidden world." "Elder, we have been watching you for 50 years, Foster replied honestly. "Your energy storms that hide your planet also follow predictable patterns. We studied them until we could navigate through them safely." "And your weapons? How do they penetrate?" "Our crystal shields?" Foster smiled. "You make your shields to stop energy weapons because that is what you use. We studied your technology and built kinetic weapons specifically to defeat your defenses. Solid projectiles moving at near light speed will punch through any energy barrier. The elder's light dimmed with understanding. You have been preparing for war with us for decades. We have been preparing to defend ourselves, Foster corrected. You joined the Galactic Council in threatening our colonies. We responded. Meanwhile, at the Keleth Hive Worlds, Admiral Ben Carter was demonstrating why human electronic warfare was so effective. The insect aliens had evolved a natural mental network that allowed millions of them to think and act as one. It had made them nearly unbeatable in space combat for centuries. But human scientists had spent 30 years studying captured Keleth communication equipment. They had learned how the hive mind worked and built jammers designed specifically to disrupt it. Sir, the Keleth are trying to coordinate a counterattack, Carter's tactical officer reported. But every time they form up, our jammers break their mental links. Carter watched as thousands of Keleth ships moved around in confusion. Without their hive mind, each ship had to think for itself. Pilots who had never made independent decisions suddenly found themselves alone in space. Open a channel to their command ship, Carter ordered. The Keleth commander that appeared on screen looked terrified. Its bug-like eyes darted back and forth as it tried to process thoughts without the help of the hive mind. Human Admiral, what have you done to us? The creature clicked in broken English. We have shown you what it feels like to be individuals, Carter replied. Your hive mind is powerful, but it has a weakness. Cut the connections and you become helpless. How did you learn to do this? We captured some of your equipment 20 years ago. Our scientists reverse-engineered your mental network technology and built countermeasures. We have been ready for this day for a long time. Back on Earth, President Sam Johnson addressed the galaxy from the White House. His message was broadcast to every alien world simultaneously. People of the galaxy, he began, for 500 years, the Galactic Council has maintained peace through strength. Today you have learned that humanity is now the strongest military power in known space. The transmission showed images of human fleets positioned around major alien worlds. 700,000 warships had revealed themselves, in a single day completely changing the balance of power. We did not choose this war, Johnson continued. The Galactic Council threatened our colonies and demanded we abandon our citizens. We refused. We will always refuse. But we do not seek to conquer or destroy. We seek to protect. Every alien fleet that surrenders will be treated with honor. Every alien world that chooses peace will find us to be good neighbors. On dozens of alien worlds, emergency sessions were being called. Species that had been allies of the Galactic Council for centuries suddenly found themselves reconsidering their positions. The Dreknari Empire, which had remained neutral, immediately sent messages offering friendship to humanity. The Stellar Federation announced they were withdrawing from the Galactic Council. Smaller species that had lived in fear of the major powers suddenly saw hope for independence. Commander Steve Hughes read the intelligence reports with satisfaction. His disinformation campaign had worked perfectly. For decades, he had fed false information to alien spies, making humanity appear weak and primitive. Now the truth was revealed and the psychological impact was devastating. Sir, we're getting surrender messages from alien commanders across 17 star systems. His aide reported. They don't want to fight anymore. Hughes smiled. The best victory is the one where your enemy defeats himself. They are so shocked by our real strength that most of them don't even want to try fighting. 3 weeks after the ultimatum expired, Grand Admiral Zexthara found himself in an impossible position. Half the Galactic Council's military had surrendered, or been destroyed. The other half was trapped by human fleets and asking for terms. Sir, the Council is requesting an immediate ceasefire, his communications officer reported. Zexthara looked at the tactical display one last time. Red dots marked human fleets throughout Galactic Council space. They had appeared everywhere at once, as if they had been planning this operation for decades. Send the message, he said quietly. Tell the humans we want to talk. The galaxy had learned that humanity was no longer the small, weak species they had believed. The age of Galactic Council dominance was over. The age of humanity had begun. 3 weeks after the galaxy had witnessed humanity's true power, a strange quiet settled over known space. The great war that everyone expected had lasted only days. Now alien leaders from across the galaxy waited nervously outside Earth's solar system, hoping for a chance to talk peace. Admiral Jake Morrison stood in the main conference room of the UES Constitution, humanity's flagship. Through the massive windows, he could see dozens of alien vessels waiting in neat formations. Each ship flew white flags of surrender and peace. "Sir, the alien delegations are ready to board," Captain Lisa Parker reported. "Grand Admiral Zex Thara, Elder Kixtal of the Vortani, and Queen Bazitcha of the Kelith are all requesting immediate meetings." Morrison nodded. "Bring them aboard. It's time to discuss the new reality." The alien leaders who entered the human conference room looked very different from the proud warriors who had threatened Earth just 1 month ago. Zex Thara's blue skin had lost its glow. Elder Kixtal's crystal body flickered weakly. Queen Bazitcha's insect eyes darted around nervously, still affected by the electronic warfare that had broken her hive mind. "Welcome aboard," Morrison said calmly. "Please sit down. We have much to discuss." Zex Thara spoke first, his voice quiet and defeated. "Admiral Morrison, the Galactic Council formally requests a complete ceasefire. We accept that the balance of power has changed." "Changed?" Morrison raised an eyebrow. "Grand Admiral, the balance of power didn't change. You simply learned what it really was." Elder Kixtal's crystal form glowed dimly. "Human Admiral, our intelligence services are trying to understand how we missed such a massive military buildup. 700,000 warships do not appear overnight." Captain Parker smiled as she activated a holographic display. "Actually, Elder, they do appear overnight when you spend 150 years building them in secret." The display showed the hidden shipyards throughout human space, bases carved into asteroids, factories hidden in nebulae, construction sites in the empty spaces between star systems. Each location had been building warships for decades without any alien knowledge. "Impossible," Queen Bazitcha buzzed. "Our spy networks monitor all major industrial activity. We would have detected such construction." "Your spy networks saw exactly what we wanted them to see," Morrison replied. "For 30 years, Commander Steve Hughes has been feeding false information to your intelligence services. Every report you received about human military strength was carefully crafted to make us appear weak." Hughes himself entered the room, at that moment carrying a thick folder of documents. "Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to meet your spies." He opened the folder and showed photographs of dozens of aliens who had been working as double agents for decades. Each one had been caught years ago and turned into human assets. "Agent Vextal," Hughes said, pointing to a Zephyrian in the photos. "He's been reporting to your intelligence service for 15 years. Every report he sent was written by my team." "Agent Crystal 7, he continued, indicating a Vortani spy. "She convinced your council that humans only had primitive mining equipment in the asteroid belt. What she didn't tell you was that we were mining asteroids to build the largest shipyards in galactic history." Queen Bazitcha's mandibles clicked in distress. "Our entire understanding of human capabilities was based on false information." "Now, you're learning," Morrison said. "But that's not why you're here. You're here because you want to know what comes next." President Sam Johnson appeared on the main screen, broadcasting from the White House. "The terms are simple," he announced. "First, immediate recognition of human sovereignty over all our established colonies. No alien government will ever again threaten human citizens. Second, representation in the Galactic Council proportional to our actual military strength. Since we now have the most powerful fleet in the galaxy, we expect appropriate representation. Third, mutual defense agreements with any species that desires them. We will protect those who cannot protect themselves from those who would threaten them." Zex Thara shifted uncomfortably. "And if we refuse these terms?" Fleet Admiral Kate Williams entered the room at that moment. "Then you can try to fight 700,000 warships with whatever forces you have left." "But Admiral," Elder Kixtal said, "surely this fleet represents the total military capacity of humanity. You must have emptied your shipyards to assemble such a force." Williams smiled. "Actually, these 700,000 ships represent our rapid response fleets. our mobile forces designed to deploy quickly across the galaxy. She activated another holographic display. This shows our total industrial capacity. The aliens stared in horror at the new images. Massive shipyards around every human star system. Construction facilities that dwarfed entire alien worlds. Production lines that could build fleets faster than any other species in the galaxy. You see, Williams continued, the 700,000 ships you've encountered are just the ones we keep ready for immediate deployment. Our total construction capacity could produce fleets that would make our current forces look small. The room fell silent. The alien leaders were beginning to understand that humanity was not just militarily superior, but industrially dominant, on a scale that was almost impossible to comprehend. Morrison stood up and walked to the window. We didn't reveal our strength to threaten you. We revealed it to protect ourselves and those who need protection. The galaxy has room for all of us, he continued, but only if we respect each other's right to exist. The old Galactic Council ruled through fear and intimidation. That age is over. Over the following weeks, the new galactic order took shape. The Zephyrian Empire, once the dominant power, found itself reduced to a regional government. The Vortani and Keleth, humbled by their swift defeat, focused on rebuilding their shattered fleets and establishing trade relationships with humanity. Captain Amy Foster was placed in command of the new Human Defense Perimeter, a network of patrol, routes that extended protection to dozens of smaller alien species. Many had lived in fear of the major powers for centuries. Now they could develop freely under human protection. Commander Steve Hughes received a new assignment, establishing the Galactic Intelligence Coordination Center. His job was to make sure that never again would any species be able to threaten galactic peace without warning. The smaller alien governments that had been oppressed by the Galactic Council suddenly found new hope. The Dragnari Empire signed a Tassin, mutual defense treaty with humanity. The Stellar Federation voted to establish joint research projects with human scientists. Even some former enemies chose cooperation over continued conflict. A group of Zephyrian colonies requested human protection after their home government could no longer defend them. President Johnson addressed the reformed Galactic Council from the new headquarters established on Luna. Representatives from 47 species attended, with humans holding seats proportional to their actual power. We stand at the beginning of a new age, he announced. An age where strength serves justice, not oppression. Where the powerful protect the weak, not exploit them. Humanity did not seek to conquer this galaxy. We sought only to protect our families and our freedom. But in doing so, we have shown that there is a better way forward. The galaxy was indeed big enough for everyone, but now it was protected by 700,000 human warships, with the promise that many more could be built if they were ever needed. As Admiral Morrison looked out at the stars from his flagship, he knew that humanity had taken its rightful place among the galactic powers, not through conquest or cruelty, but through preparation, sacrifice, and the willingness to stand up for what was right. The age of human dominance had begun, and it would be an age of justice.